What's going on, guys? MMA Outlaw back here with another video, and today you see the tweet behind me. We're going to be talking about how Islam Makhachev cowered out of his UFC White House main event against Ilia Topuria. You guys remember when Dana White was talking, saying, hey, guys, one of these fights fell out. You remember seeing Hunter Campbell on the stage at the UFC weigh-ins of that one-numbered card event, I believe it's UFC 326. They were saying, hey, a card fell out, and this is when they made Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje. And if you see this tweet behind me, read this. Once again, Islam comes up with an excuse. This time it's an injury. I always knew I would be part of the White House event. Even when the UFC told me at one point they wouldn't count on me for the event, I knew it was part of the negotiation. When they finally told me I'd be on the White House card, they mentioned Islam, and I didn't hesitate for a second to accept the fight. Even though the fight hadn't been officially confirmed yet, the White House card was going to be announced the next day. And when I woke, I found out that Islam had gotten injured. And then Justin Gaethje appeared. Once again, someone else who will pay for Islam's escape. Both of their manager is a bitch and also ugly as hell. Justin, see you at the White House. I'm not someone who humiliates people. It will be quick. When you wake up, everything will already be over. First of all, that last line by Ilia Topuria is absolutely cold. Justin, see you at the White House. I'm not someone who humiliates people. It will be quick. When you wake up, everything will already be over. And that you see that GIF right under here. Once again, someone who will pay for Islam's escape. When you wake up, everything will already be over. You already know Ilia Topuria is absolutely sleeping Justin Gaethje in the first round, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the fact that Islam Makhachev cowered away from Ilia Topuria at the UFC White House main event. And here is Islam's response on Twitter. We both know who chickened out here, a winky face. You can cover your cowardice with nasty tweets, but don't worry. One day, you will get what you asked for, and your fat-ass manager don't have to ask for billions to fight me. We will do it for free. And let's be honest here. We know Islam. Yeah, this is the first reaction. Islam checking Twitter to see what Ali tweeted for him. You know that Ali Abdulaziz, the mad rat, Abdulaziz, you know that mad rat. He took over Islam's Twitter account, and he's the one who tweeted this because you know Islam is not going to call someone their fat-ass manager. You know that was Ali clapping back at Ilia Topuria, talking about how his manager is a bitch and calling him fat. And let's just say, we know that Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria was the fight that was supposed to be made because Ariel Helwani, one of the best reporters in the game, you see this tweet right here. He had repeatedly been checking in throughout the White House card-making process, asking Ilia Topuria. I'll play the video here for you guys.
Mid last week, Ilia Topuria gets the call. I had been checking in repeatedly throughout this whole process, basically from the January 24th card up until last week. Are they asking Ilia? Are they asking Ilia? Are they asking Ilia? Are they asking Ilia? Nope, 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 nope,
Nope, nope, nope, nope.
Mid last week, they finally reach out with two questions. What are you more interested in? Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev or Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje? What interests you more?
And so, I don't know if my mic is having problems. I'm hoping that you can hear me right now. And so, you hear this. The UFC came to Ilia and they asked him, which would you prefer? Would you prefer Islam Makhachev at 170 pounds or Justin Gaethje at 155 pounds? And of course, Ilia Topuria being the savage that he is, he didn't ask for a number. He didn't ask for anything. All that he said is, give me Islam. I'll go up to 170. And that was it. Ilia versus Islam was never finalized, obviously, because they were hoping on that Friday that it would be Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. And then when they found out that Islam was not going to be available, that he was going to be a mad rat and pull out with an injury, that's when they turned their attention to Justin Gaethje. But at the end of the day, Ilia Topuria is about that. You see this tweet from Islam Makhachev. We know he didn't ask for billions. He did not ask for billions. Ilia Topuria didn't say a second. He said, give me Ilia. Ilia said, give me Islam Makhachev at 170. Islam Makhachev said, oh, I'm injured. And this UFC White House card, it's in June. This UFC White House card was announced in the middle of March, at the beginning of March. You guys know, that Ilia Topuria was ready to take this fight. He is really about that life. Ariel Helwani confirmed it. Going back to this tweet, you see this. At the end of the day, Ilia wanted Islam. He wants the biggest test possible. He said, give me Islam at 170. He was willing to move up another weight class to be a 3-division champion. But Islam Makhachev cowered it out. And honestly, I found this little full send video.
That fell out?
That's not important.
Danny, you talked about you don't want to say.
Danny, you talked about what you with a fight that fell out.
Weird circumstances around it. That
Weird circumstances,
we
right?
probably shouldn't talk about.
Probably shouldn't talk.
You aren't going to tell us the fight that fell out, but is this one of those things that we'll never find out? That behind the scenes there was a lot of.
Of course, there are weird circumstances. You want to know what? This is the White House card we got. Imagine that at the top of the bill. Imagine what we could have had. Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. Now that is a UFC White House card. That would be a fight that we could all get excited about. But instead, Islam Makhachev chickened out like a little baby. You know Ilia Topuria is about that life. Now, once again, Justin will have to pay for Islam's escape. What a cold tweet from Ilia Topuria. You know Ilia Topuria is going to flatline Justin Gaethje in one round. What an incredible fight that we could have had. We need to see Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev sooner rather than later. Islam cannot keep running from Ilia, who will sleep him in one round. And so if you enjoy content just like this, make sure to leave a comment on, what you think of this whole situation. If you think Islam Makhachev is the coward that he really is, if you think Ilia Topuria is making up lies, let me know what you guys think. And if you enjoy content just like this, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.